Most news growers guess their pricing. And guess what? Most of them are doing it wrong. Tonight, I'm going to show you how we actually price your microgreens so you can actually make a profit at doing this. If you don't know your numbers, it's hard to make a profit. So we're going to get into it today and show you how we do that and hopefully help you out as well. So what are we going to cover today? Well, we're going to cover the big pricing mistakes most growers make. That's the big one, and how to know your costs, how to break down your costs and know your actual costs. Price ranges by market, so different segments, different sell outlets. How to price? What's the price range of that? Adding margins the right way, and when and how to raise your prices. This is a hard one for most people. You kind of get stuck at your price sometimes, and you don't raise it even though your costs are going up. But we're going to talk about that as well today. Put in the comments if you're watching this live, where you're tuning in from, where you're starting at with your microgreen journey. We'd love to know that. We will have a Q&A at the end of the live as well for a few moments. So you can go ahead and put questions in the comments as well as you want into the chat, and we will get to them after the presentation. All right, so the number one mistake most growers make. If you want to, put in the comments right now also, what do you think is the number one mistake most growers make and when they're pricing their microgreens? Well, guessing at pricing. Well, I heard on Facebook that they are charging $5, or I heard they were charging $6, or I heard they're charging $7 for a package of microgreens. But that's just guessing. You don't really know what you should be charging. Right? Copying others, just copying their prices because they said it on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Somebody said that's what they're charging. Well, not everybody is equal, right? Your prices are going to be different than what my prices is. Our inputs are going to be different. So you've got to know what them inputs are. So that's what we're here today to fix so you can comfortably price your microgreens and start making real profits. So the first thing you need to know, kind of mentioned it already, but knowing your cost. If you do not know what your costs are, you can't know what to price your microgreens at. What's your soil cost? What's all the other costs? We'll get into it in a minute, but what is your cost? You got to know that. Without them numbers, you're never going to be able to make money in this. You may be charging too much for your product, and you could actually get more sales by charging less, or you're charging too little and not making enough money. These are all factors. So what goes into cost of a tray of microgreens? So we're going to do this based on tray, then we'll break it down packaging and everything else. But what goes into that? Well, the main things that go into it is seed, your soil or your grow medium, whatever you're using, your packaging, your labor. Even if you're doing it yourself, that is labor. Utilities. This is your foundation. These are the 5 foundational things you've got to know what your costs are on these. So you know what your inputs are. If you do not know these numbers, learn them, know it, figure them out. We can help you out, but you've got to figure these numbers out or you will never know if you're pricing your microgreens correctly. So I'm going to show you guys an example of what we use and what we give away to our students as well for free in our coaching group. It's part of the group that they get and everything else. So I'm going to show that to you and kind of go over it a little bit. So this is our price calculation sheet. So this is what we do to price our microgreens. And this is the basis of it. But first thing we're going to go over to is inputs here. So over on inputs, you got to know what your kilowatt hours are, which you can find on your electric bill. What your watts per hour per light. So if you're using a T8 light, is 42 watts. If you're using a T5, it's 20 watts. Or whatever light you're using, put that number in there. Lights per shelf. So we use 1 T8 per shelf on most of our products. 4 trays per shelf, and it is actually now on for 12 hours, not 16. We used to do 16, and we found 12 hours work just as good, so we can save 4 hours of light a day per light. It adds up. And then your soil cost, whatever your soil bale costs you, this size doesn't really matter, but it's just a reference. And then how many trays you get out of that bale. We now are using different soil, but I'm using a basic cost of like a ProMix BX here, ProMix MP, that you can get a big bale size out of it, and you can get about 60 trays out of it. So at that, your cost is about 75 cents. So then all these numbers are going to go over here to this sheet, and you're going to put in what products you're growing. So there's a lot of room here. What your seed cost is per purchase per whatever size bag you're getting. and what's your seed density. Now, this is in ounces, so if you're doing grams, you would have to do the conversion. I do not have the gram sheet out yet. When I do release that will be in our coaching group only because it's additional work. So it's only going to be in there. Lights, how long days are under lights. So like most of these crops are going to be 7 days under lights versus, beet might be 24 days under lights or 21 days or something like that, or 14 days, whatever you're growing it at. Do not count the germination time though. And then your labor costs, however long it's costing you to do this whole tray, you need to figure out how long it's costing you time-wise from planting to harvesting and packing. So that's your time frame there. You can even add delivery time in there too. You divide it over your packages. You can figure out delivery cost is a lot more complicated to figure out, but you can do it if you know what you're doing. So that's going to get your seed per tray cost. So this costs $1.06 off this example for per ounce per tray. I mean, to plant that tray of seeds of peas of $1.06. The electric cost $17.06 on that for the electric costs. So the total tray cost is $9.49, but per ounce it's only 40 cents per ounce a pea to grow that. That doesn't include packaging. So if you go over here to packaging, if you're selling that at $4, which this is again an old sheet, we are no longer at $4, but and we are at 2 ounces, not 4. I don't know what that's in there. So $2 per 2 ounces per package. Your total package costs 26 cents for us, 10 cents for a label. Your total profit's $2.85 if you're charging $4. So you can see, and then if you're charging $5, what the difference is, you're at $3.85. We even break it down over in restaurant cost, what you're charging per ounce to restaurant. You can even put the ounces here if you're charging if you're doing 8 ounces. I'm just doing an ounce here just to kind of show you here what this is and what your package cost label would be. In total profit would be $1.85 an ounce off of that example. And then there's wholesaling too. We'll get in that in a minute, what that is all about too. So, and then there's some mixed stuff down here and all that stuff, which we can get into more if you join our group, our Microgreens for Profit group, which is a free group as well. We give this sheet away if you show up to one of the calls. So that's the sheet. If you guys got any questions about it, we will answer some questions at the end of this about it. Just go ahead and put them in the chat now. All right. So what should you be charging? So we know our baselines of our numbers, right? What it costs us now, you know that. What it costs you to grow that ounce of trays or that tray or that ounce of product, you know what that cost is now. So what should you be charging? Well, there's different segments, right? You got chefs, you got farmers markets or direct to consumer. They're both in one and the same. Or you're going to grocery stores, which is your wholesale client. They're all going to be different charges. They're going to cost you different to make them. So you're going to charge them more. You can charge chef premium. You got to be within line with the retail, direct to consumers. Depending on if you're delivering, you might be able to charge a little bit more. Grocery stores, that's where you're getting your wholesale costs. So you got to charge less there, but you're making more in volume. Love grocery stores, by the way. So market price examples here. So if you're going to chefs, you're going to be somewhere around $3 an ounce for like a pea, up to $6, maybe even more for like beets or cilantro, stuff like that. Some areas you can charge even up to $7, $8 on that. It's going to vary by your area and what you can get as well. So definitely can play with them numbers for whatever you need. Farmers markets typically are somewhere around $4 to $6. We are $6 now. Again, we started at like $4. So then prices can vary up and down depending on what you can get for your market. If you're at $6, you're not selling, you might need to go down. Or if you're selling out, you're at $4, you're selling out within the first 2 hours of the market, well, you probably need to raise your price because you're there. So go ahead and raise your price. People are probably still going to come back and buy, but you can make more money by selling the same amount of product. Grocery store wholesales, not talking distributors, but direct that you're delivering it to the grocery stores, typically going to be somewhere off of your retail price, 30 to 40%. It's going to vary by grocery stores. Some are going to want 40%. Some are okay with 30%. So it varies. We are all over the board. We're in between 30 and 40% on most of our crops. Our wheatgrass, we're closer to like 50% now. But so it's going to vary. That number is going to vary depending on that wholesale customer and what they need to get out of the product. We get very, very few shrinks on our products. Shrinks means wasted products, if you don't know. We get very, very few, basically almost nothing, because we manage the shelves and rotate them and do all that stuff. So they hardly get any shrink because we manage that they don't just order a whole bunch of stuff and it's just sitting there. And we also do with grocery stores. I highly recommend this. Just not really part of this, but if you're selling to grocery stores, make sure you are getting paid for everything you deliver them. Do not do consignments. That is the worst way to do business. All right. Building in your profit. So we got to be profitable, right? If you're not profitable, you're not going to be a business long. You're going to be out of business. So how to add margin. Do not sell at break even. Even if you're going to wholesale customer and your break even's $3 per package, do not sell at $3 or even $4. You're probably going to need to be higher. So the end price is going to need to cost you more, right? That's an example. You should be lower than that, but just an example to use whole numbers. So you want to make sure that you're making money and it's worth it. So you got to get all them costs in there to make sure you're making money. The worst thing is that you're selling stuff at a loss. That's not helping anybody. You're not going to be in business long, so they're not going to have your product long, that they're going to find somebody else. So it's not beneficial to anybody that you undercut prices. Give them a fair price and make sure you can make money. Make sure when you're doing the sheet, there's the delivery thing on there for retail, restaurants, wholesale. Make sure you're using that column and putting in the delivery cost. How much is it costing you to deliver? Now, it's going to get less and less the more packages you deliver. It's going to cost you less per package for delivery costs, right? So the busier you get, the more products you can sell to that customer, or the wholesale customers are on that route, that delivery cost can come down. So highly recommend you keeping track of that. That number will change all the time. Obviously, gas prices are going up. Your insurance might change. Your delivery vehicle might change. So that number is going to change a lot, probably more than anything else. Add money for your branding. If you got a good brand, like we have a well-established brand in this area, so we can push our prices up a little bit because people are buying our products all the time. They're doing it. They know the name. People call us by itty bitty microfarm every time we walk in. Hey, you're the itty bitty people. They don't know our name, but they know our brand. I'd rather them know my brand than my name. That is much better. That's fine. And one thing people always forget about is following up. If they said no the first time, it's not a no forever. It's just a no for right now. Follow up, follow up, follow up to get that. Profit, if you're making the proper profit, and you put this in here, if you're making the proper profit, you're going to have sustainability and you're going to be able to scale. You have to buy new products. You have to buy new seeds. You have to buy more packages. You have to pay yourself. You got to make sure you're making the proper profit so you can be sustainable and you can grow. Like I said, if you go out of business, it's not good for the grocery stores, restaurants, or whoever. You're going to be out of business just because you undercut your prices. Now they got to find somebody else. So don't undercut your prices. Make sure you're charging a fair price. So here's always the trick: when to raise prices. This has been hard for us. Very hard for us to raise prices because we really got to establish at that $5 price point. It's just so much easier to deal with. It's $5. It's $5. People can hand you a $5 at a farmer's market. It's easy. But we did it this year. We actually went up and we are now at $6 per price, per product, per package, 2 ounces of microgreens. And nobody's balked at it at all. Everybody's paying the price. No problem, because we're well established. But you got to get yourself well established before you start raising your prices out of nowhere. So we want to go out of the gate at the right price. Your right price might be $6 to start with, but you want to make sure you're getting that price right out of the gate correctly. If you're undercutting, it's hard to move the price up without having a brand and established and everything else. So highly recommend that. When and where. So like I said earlier, if you're consistently selling out, like if you're at the farmer's market, you're consistently selling out, probably need to raise your prices. If you're in a grocery store, you're consistently selling out at that grocery store, you could probably raise your prices there too. Grocery stores are a lot more involved in there, raising prices and everything else, but you can do it. But if you're always selling out and you're giving them the proper amount and people are just wanting it, you could probably raise your prices. That's the good indicator, especially at the farmer's market. Like if you keep bringing more product and you keep selling out and you keep selling out, you probably need to raise your price. if you improve. So if your products improve, your quality of your products improve, you're giving better quality product. We give better quality product today than what we did when we started, right? We didn't know anything. We didn't know the in and outs. That's why we made a coaching group to help people be able to get there faster and make high quality products out of the gate so they can charge a good premium price for their product. So highly recommend that. You get better packaging. Like we went to tamper resistant packaging. We didn't start out there, so we got better packaging. If your delivery cost increases dramatically, like it can fluctuate here and there and everything else, but if something happens and it goes crazy and you're paying a whole bunch for fuel, then you might need to change your prices, or you may need to add a fuel charge in there for a temporary thing. There's ways of doing it. So any way you improve your product, you can increase your prices, right? Or you just keep selling out more and more and more product too. And understanding your market. What will your market handle? Your market might only handle $4. So you have to fit and figure out how to price that microgreen at $4 and still make money. And there's ways to probably do it by reducing your costs, reducing some things and everything else. And you could still probably make a decent profit. But if your market handles $7, awesome. That's your market. So knowing your market and knowing what it can handle, one of the best ways to find that out is go to a farmer's market and sell the product and find out what people are willing to pay. If you got it priced at $6 and nobody's buying it, you probably bring it at $5. If they start buying it, you know that's their market. Or if you can got other microgreen growers in your area that are at farmers markets or selling elsewhere, you can go out and do market research and find out what they're selling at, and if they're selling out of their products or not. Then you're going to know, right? So market research. Anchor to the value. So think beyond the tray. So think what I just talked about a minute ago: freshness, flavor, nutrition, all them things. So having the product freshness. So we control the products in the grocery store and rotate them out when they look bad. A lot of grocery people will just leave them there forever. So you want to make sure you're doing that. Having the right flavor. So having the right nutrients, having the right soil that's going to give them a better taste is huge. It makes a difference in the taste. A good high quality soil is going to make the difference in the taste. Local support equals value. So, we're local, we're here in your community, stuff like that. People are all into that. So make sure you're promoting that you're a local product. Like we get to put Illinois product grown on our labels so people know where it's grown, and it's grown in Illinois. So they're going to be more apt to buy it if they're in the Illinois area. So that's a local proposition, right? So that adds value. Position yours as a gourmet, not a commodity. These are high-end products, right? So you can charge high-end prices to a certain level. You can't go crazy. But if you position yourself as a premium product, a gourmet product, you can charge a little bit more for it. And people are willing to pay it if you're in the right environment and you got the right market. Now, if you're in Cairo, Illinois, let's say, it's a very depressed area. Hardly anybody lives there. They're probably not buying microgreens. Just not doing it. That's just a depressed area. So that's not a market you could be in and do this. If you're in San Diego, California, you can charge a premium. People know what microgreens are. They love them. They're going to buy them. They're probably going to buy it at a high price. So it just depends. So does anybody need help in pricing their trays, their microgreens, and everything else? If you do, we do have a coaching group that we have over at school.com/microgreens. That is our paid group. That is $60 a month right now, going to go to $100 here soon. So that's $60 a month to get into it. And you can dive deeper into this and check it out. We'd love to have you over there and help you out and grow your business and get it off on the right foot, or get it on the right foot if it is not currently, and help you out no matter where you're at in your journey. We would love to help you out. Again, that is at school.com/microgreens. At least look at it up. What we offer over there, we have a full course, right? We have a course on microgreens, on marketing, on just the basics of the business, multiple courses. 101 the basics, how to grow microgreens, obviously, is over there. All our resources, every product that we use, we put in that resource list. We keep it up to date, fairly good, and keep it up to date so you know what we're using, new products we're using, new things that we're doing. You're the first to know. We do live Q&As. We do 2 live Q&As every week. One will be tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Coming up here in about 30 minutes or so, we will have our live Q&A there. We also do one on Thursday, on Thursday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're not an evening person, you still have time. You can get time to get there. We do a marketing class every month. The third Wednesday of every month, we do a marketing class that you can be there for. My wife, Jessica, handles all that. She's the marketing guru, and she does a marketing class once a month and leads you guys and helps you market your business, because without that, you're in trouble. Highly, highly need that. Tools and resources, spreadsheets, templates like this spreadsheet I just showed you. We got that in there. We can go over and help you out and on a call and figure all that out. If you're an annual member, you get 5 calls a year. 5 calls a year that we go over in detail and help you grow your business. That's part of the annual membership that you get. Each one of them calls are valued at $147. You get in, you get one right away. Well pays for your membership for the first month. If you do the yearly membership, it's $500 right now. 2.5 of them calls pay for that. So a great value over there. We do challenges all the time. We do grow alongs. They're private in the Microgreen business coaching group by itself. Obviously, we support you. Proven Success members over there. You guys have seen other YouTube videos of Sydney and Bill and Tiny Mighty Microgreens. We got more success stories of our members coming out as we go along here. We're doing a whole series of this and everything else. The ones that have been successful. Awesome time talking to them. Love that they're doing great. They did the work. We just guided them. All right. So check that out. Advanced marketing techniques. That's only for annual members. Exclusive resources for annual members. And obviously, I give you priority over anybody else. Annual members get the first priority. All right. Thank you guys very much for joining us today. This replay will be up. And right now, if you're here live, we're going to get into the live Q&A if we got any questions. All right. Any questions, any comments, go ahead and put them in the chat. And if you guys got any questions on this sheets, we can go over that as well and dive deeper into it. I have about 10 minutes that I can do Q&A, 5 to 10 minutes, depending on questions. If there aren't any, we will hop off of here a bit. And if you're not ready to join the full coaching group, you can go to school.com, SKOOL.com/microgreens for profit. That is a completely free group. On that group, we are now doing 2 group calls a month that are onboarding. They're 30 minutes long. They just to show you around the platform. We'll take questions if we have time, depending on how many people are on there. But you do get that. And plus, you get a coffee chat every Thursday morning at 9:30 Central Standard Time that we do coffee chat. It's kind of a hangout, take some questions, but it's to get to know your other people, but we can take some questions as well. So what's the best way to change a consignment market to wholesale? That can be tough. Not to be, once you're in, it's kind of hard to change that price, but you can bring it up to them and be like, tell them what you're going to do. What's your benefit that you're going to do for them versus being on consignment? What are you going to do for wholesale? Are you going to guarantee the products for 2 weeks? Are you going to make sure you manage the shelves and that they have very, very minimal shrink, but you keep the shelves full as well? So you got to make sure you tell them the benefit to them, right? It's got to be a benefit for them at this point, because right now they're in the driver's seat. They got all of it, right? They get your products. They only have to pay for what sells. So you got to be a very good salesman to change a consignment to a wholesale. But it can be done. It's just going to take very smooth talking and make sure you show the benefit to them. I like the benefit ideal. I'll work on it. Yeah. That's about the only way you're going to be able to do that. And Nancy is one of our members in our business coaching group as well. So love having her over there and helping her out. She's done very well in growing her business so far. Look forward to getting her on a time to talk and do a video with her as well. But yeah, we will be doing another live on Friday as well. If you check out the channel, you'll find out what that is. And you can go set yourself a notification to let you know when that's going to go live. That will be Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. That we'll be doing that live. At the minimum, you can get a lot of time with us if you just join the Microgreens for Profit group. There's going to be every Thursday, almost every Thursday. Sometimes we have to cancel because we have things going on. But almost every Thursday at 9:30, there's a coffee chat, Central Standard Time. And then we're doing them 2 calls a month of the onboarding for you as well. So there's a lot of time to get there as well. So I hope to at least see, if you're not part of it yet, at least part of the Microgreens for Profit group. And would love to have you in the coaching group and help you with your business and really, really grow it. Any questions, guys? Put them in the chat. And then if not, I will jump off of here and get ready for our group coaching call here in about 30 minutes. That's going to be over at school.com/microgreens. You can join over there right now, and you'll have instant access to that group coaching call where we're going to get on a Zoom call and talk and answer questions in detail. We're usually there for about 90 minutes or so. Usually don't go less than 90 minutes, but yeah. So love to have you over there. All right. It doesn't look like any more questions are coming in, guys. So I do thank you guys all for tuning in and watching this how to price your microgreens for real profit. That sheet is invaluable. So at least join Microgreens for Profit and get that sheet for free to come on one of the onboarding calls. And I will unlock that for you totally free, because I think it's that valuable that you need to have it so you make sure you grow your business. So with that, we will get ready for our live coaching call with our members. If you're going to join us today, we'll see you over there. If not, again, hope to see you over at Microgreens for Profit. And we will catch you on Friday for the next live. Have a great day.